Hey, everyone. We're back at it again for this. In my soul, I want to say raggedy show because Owen's being raggedy. Um, for the Never Ever Met season one, episode two. And if it's not verbal, or it's not physical altercations, it's verbal altercations. And we tired. We're tired. All right, like I'm gonna speak for everyone. We're tired. Okay, we're tired. We're tired. We're tired. So, yeah. I have El Cid again. Thank you for joining. How have you been today?
I've been tired. I've been tired, but I'm here. This is my distraction. I have my notes. I'm ready.
Like I said, we all tired. All right. I guess this time we're just gonna go um from the beginning
However,
of the episode to the end of the episode. I'm not gonna go by couple because I don't know. I think that's gonna take too short of a time. So I'm gonna be here for like 2 seconds, then we're gonna be done. Essentially. Um, anyways, so start off with the physical altercation, continue going with Dom and Alexis, and it's just she picking up pots. She picking up pots, y'all. Like she about to throw some hot grits on the Tate or something. Like what? Like when did we turn into a Tyler Perry movie? That's also one kind of getting.
see, I'm of a particular age, so it ain't the hot grits ain't a Tyler Perry thing. That's more recent. Pot of grits is, you know, a long-standing Southern thing. But I was like, you picked up a pot, you moved away. The guy's still coming at you, but we're still considering a relationship.
And then the funny part is, or should I say, ironic part is that they did this whole press tour last weekend about how this was just a friendship. It was all fake. Don came up with this whole thing to do, and I don't know why. Like, because I don't. I mean, the logic has to logic for me because otherwise I can't get behind it. Like, if you guys are watching this season of The Circle, my kind of reviews for that, I've been saying like some people on there have been making like choices that are not, to me, not that logical. So I'm like, as long as I can get behind it, I can like I can or understand your logic, I can get behind it. And same thing here. It's like the logic is not happening for me. So I'm like, if I can't understand it, you're gonna get a massive case of what the hell are we doing here and why. So I and then on top of it, when the next morning when Alexis is talking with everyone, it's just like I don't, maybe I'm just not seeing it, but why are her titties out essentially? Like her boobs are all pretty much out. I mean, I mean I don't I why do you need to have like something low cut to me? I mean, maybe I'm just projecting. I don't know, but that seems a little weird to be having your whole chest out like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm not seeing something. What do you think?
Um,
That's what.
as far as far as her fashion sense, it's television. It's television. She is wearing items that are complementing her physique. So whether this gentleman works out or not, her physique is, on prominent display. My thing is that she the whole you said the whole press tour, that's getting ahead. That's damage control. You know, He probably been living his life for the past 2 years, like chilling, probably thinking that Owen is not gonna put this show out,
Mm,
and then all of a sudden, dang, they are gonna put the show out. Maybe 2 years later, but it's gonna be out. I need to do damage control. So
mm.
everybody sees it, and he waited, and it's like, okay, we gotta do this. And I wanna understand if he asked her to do the press tour with him or if the show asked her.
No, I believe he did it. I believe he asked her.
Okay.
I believe
Because
he asked her because I mean I didn't actually watch the interview, but I know that they did it, and I saw snippets on I think Kojo's channel, and then I believe Jay showed it a little bit. Well, actually, she showed the IG thing, but I saw it somewhere that the little snippets of their whole press tour thing, and I I would, or at least I wouldn't put it past him to have asked her to do it. Because if he's asking, if he's saying, if Alexis is saying that he asked her to do this whole thing, then I wouldn't put it past him to have asked her. So
yeah, I wouldn't put it past him either, but I just wanted to know, like, I would be interested to know. And what prompted her to say yes? What prompted her, like, oh, I don't want him to be seen in a certain light. That's what it gave to me. But I felt it was a little too much to show her his apology like right after, knowing you're already going to turn this couple away and send them home.
yeah.
Why does she need to sit there and look at that and be subjected to hearing from him when you have already made the executive decision that he's going to leave, and by you know association she's going to leave?
Well, yeah. I mean, I get why each one was asked to leave because he's a problem. I mean, because they both put hands on each other, but he started it. He obviously started it first, and I understand why she was asked to leave because it's like, well, if you're not going to be in a couple because the other half of your couple's not there, then what's the point of you being there? You're just going to be watching everyone else do all this stuff and doing like whether it's the group's activities, solo activities, or like dates or something. That what's the point? So I kind of get it and all that. So I mean, but
Yeah, I would have just talked to her and say, hey, how you feeling, blah blah blah, what's going on, and told her, and maybe played the apology for the audience. But it's still too fresh for her to be seeing his apology and then seeing it not that serious. And but maybe she needed to hear that from him for her to realize how much he does not see the seriousness of this.
I mean, I don't think that he's gonna learn anything until he faces like some consequences, some boundaries. And clearly she's not holding up anything because she said I don't remember who asked it, but I think it was Brandon who asked, but he whoever asked if there was still something there with him, and she was going to try to reconnect, and she said no. But obviously that's a lie because we saw the whole press tour thing. So I mean, even if you were doing a interview to sort of put your side out there after the whole stuff, then I don't know why you would want to go ahead and deal with the person. I mean, even if it's 2 years later, I mean, for us, it just happened. So it's not like this is all just transpired. Like even more than like 2 or 3 months ago. This all happened literally like last night for us. So, I mean, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, yeah. For us, it just happened, and for them and the show is 2 years ago. Um, I did like that, you know, they showed how the men discussed what happened versus the other discussions with the women about what happened. And I did enjoy the fact that Aaron with Diamond, um, that he did express his experiences with DV, and I thought that was the most profound thing of the episode, because you hardly hear men voicing their experiences.
Hmm.
And I wish they'd let him have a little bit more to talk about.
And maybe they could have, and they shot more, but we just didn't see it, and they
Mm-hmm.
felt like it was enough to at least show him having um expressed that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, it took a lot of courage to say something that like that, even on like on camera, let alone in front of other people. So I mean,
Right, right. And I'm like, now I'm looking at his dynamic with Diamond because when Alexis came, Diamond was like, "You should have called me. I was ready. I would have. What did you need from me?" Diamond is my personality, so. Oh, what do you need from me? I would have been with you. And I'm like, I wonder what is the dynamic with Aaron and if this is the style of woman that he is definitely attracted to. Not saying Diamond is, you know, um in that lane, but a more tough, strong, woman.
yeah. Well, thankfully they got off the screens expeditiously because, at least as far as Alexis and Dom goes, because this they dragged this stuff out. And I would have quit. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna lie, I would have quit. Because I mean, and then I mean, um, I probably would have. I mean, it's. I mean, I might just. I feel like I might just do it anyway because we have. I mean, this is me. What irritates me is like the whole Sienna thing, and we're gonna get to that later. But the whole Sienna's and what's her little boo thing's name?
Who are you talking about? Brandon?
Yeah, Brandon. Sorry, like I'm forgetting like what their names are. Like it's only episode two. Sorry, I'm like it's only episode two. So I'm like, where like the whole verbal thing is a little. I mean, much.
Unsettling.
Yeah, it's just. I think that's a little bit more much for me than I get. I mean, the physical part of the. I mean, obviously we know that the physical altercations are never good, but it's the what she does later is just like because I guess I'm more of a words person. Like so if you're talking to me crazy, like I don't like it. So I mean, anyways, before we get to that though, we transition into Sandia confronting Chris. Hey Jay, how's it going? Um, so we see her confronting Chris about what he said the night before. Um, and um, what did you think? I feel like you didn't really say much about it. You let everyone else kind of talk about it more
Yeah,
so.
that's fine because Chris is a baby player. Chris is, hey, I'm here. We seeing each other. He's like the one for word semantics. We seeing each other. We ain't really dating. It's like that ain't my girl. She's a girl I'm seeing. He's so semantics. He's like, but then he wants to say, "Let me go tend to my woman." Okay, is she your girl? Is she a woman or not? Then it's like, and then he would deflect. She's like, "I saw you talking to them," and he's like, "Who is them? Who's them?"
Mm,
I was like, okay, Chris, I see you're deflecting there so you can come up with the puzzle pieces in your head to throw her off. Okay, I see you. And he's overwhelmed by emotion, but you're not overwhelmed to tell her, be gone from the kitchen. Yeah, I mean, Chris is playing the word game, he's playing her, and I think culturally it it's a lot. Like I also follow Jessie Wu, and she talks a lot about the Haitian household and the dynamics of the male children versus the female children, and I think he's playing that deference against her. a bit. She's looking for, a good, wholesome, Haitian, or a man that would understand her culture, probably. And he's looking for the good girl who won't bat an eye when he's out in the streets or when he tells her anything. If I tell you this is what it is, you'll believe me. Yeah. Okay. And then she's like, well, if he's ever disrespectful, and I'm sitting there yelling at the TV, he was just disrespectful. Did I miss something? Editing, edit something out. He was disrespectful. The way he was telling you to go on from here, go on from here. It was, and then had all the men, the choir, I should say, his choir, telling you the rest of it. I was like, baby girl. And then she
So
left. She didn't say anything, but her eyes said that she wanted to say something. I'm like, please say something later. Please say something later. And then all she says, okay. I was like, oh God, girl. But he
yeah,
said he don't trust women. He said he don't trust women. So
I
it's basically she's applying for the position to be his girlfriend. But he's not applying to be her boyfriend. To me, it's the it's a double sidedness.
I mean, personally, I think that I mean, I was thinking like maybe because I said this in Jay's chat last night, that I get the idea that maybe in her mind, when he says, "Well, I flirt with women," and didn't he say I hurt or not hurt? Sorry, I my mind. It's been a long week, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's been such a long week. But when he said, did he say I flirt with a lot of women or all women or something like that? Maybe I just misheard. But he basically alluded to the fact that he flirts with a lot of women, and so I wouldn't. I guess my thought is I wouldn't be surprised if her in her mind she was thinking that, well, if you flirt with a lot of women or all these women, what's to stop you from flirting with the women in the house? And maybe that's where her mind was going. And so if that is the case, I don't blame her for that thought process. What I will hold her account to that she should have said that. That's what I think she should have done was say, "Hey, this is what I feel. I feel like maybe based off of what you said, you will, if given the chance, you will flirt with these women and not mix like mince any words about it, and you wouldn't care about how I feel." Unfortunately, like you said, I just think that she's just a type that is more of the way more reserved type and just not has she just not capable of going of not she's not capable of actually voicing her opinions about stuff, and whether that's because of her Haitian upbringing or if that's just her upbringing in general, I don't know. But I mean, unfortunately, she didn't speak up, and unless she, what, it doesn't even necessarily have to be with a therapist, but someone that she trusts that is going to be impartial about things, where she can at least run scenarios by said person, then she can get sort of feedback about what she either could do better or see if like maybe she wasn't tripping at all or what. But I mean, unless she like has that person to kind of bounce off of, I don't think she's really going to be able to speak up about things, unfortunately. So yeah.
Yeah, I do agree with that, but another thing is um I need a definition of flirting. I need a definition as well because you could just be friendly or conversationalist and it be seen or received as flirting. Like, you know, I'll be at the grocery store and somebody want to strike up a conversation. It can be perceived if you're laughing and talking with someone, it can be perceived as such.
Yeah, because I do agree with that because I remember an ex roommate of mine, she had got married and her ex-husbands, um whenever they would go out and she would just, kind of talk and stuff like that, she basically that would happen too. So and even after they got divorced, I remember her saying that she would, spend time with her ex-husband, um and he would still do the same thing, and it's like it was weird. So I mean,
Hey, I'd like to see him in action, but I can see that. I can see if he's partying and going to the club all the time, I could see it. But low key, that's what I thought when he was like, "Oh, I get girls, I get girls." All I thought was, "Oh, you gonna get somebody's girl in the house?" I thought that, so it wasn't outside of the train of thought, but it was him trying to make her look like she was crazy for even thinking it. I was like, "That's not what I said." That's why I said he's a word semantic person. I
that
didn't say that.
and that's exactly what I was thinking too. Is like it's the wordplay for me. Like, I mean, he was trying so hard to get out of that. Like it was the mental gymnastics of it all, because I was like, why are you? I mean, I get it. She was. I'm not gonna lie. She was like Jay said. She was doing a little bit of jumping and projecting, but I mean, he was doing a lot. He was doing a lot. So I mean, yes, she contributed a little bit, but I think he's obviously trying to get out of it. And it's just like it's to me it was weird, and I didn't like that. And I,
I
it was
agree.
just that part. That's also something I couldn't understand this episode. I mean, it was just too much for me. I just couldn't do it. Oh yeah, Jay, you're right. She needs to jump out the relationship, but she's not going to. So, um, unfortunately, she's not going to, because half of these women are in the sunken place, at least. So, I mean, yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll see if she gets hip to Chris and all that stuff. So, but I don't think so. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, he is trying to see how much foolishness she's like, and that's on her. That's honestly partly on her, because she's clearly showing that she don't care what he do and what he say, and so I mean that part is on her too. So I'm not gonna deny that part, but I mean, ugh, I can't. To me I can't stand him more, because he's so. I mean, I get it. He's more obvious with it, and she's obviously contributing, but like I can't stand the word semantics. I can't stand word semantics. It's annoying to me, because you're trying to make me feel like I'm crazy, and I'm like, can you please stop, please?
See, but I love it. I would play right back in your face. I play right back in your face. Just like I said, his choir. I would have said that. I said your choir. The
Mm,
folks that were echoing you at the table. I would totally play word semantic with him and play it right back in his face. But that's because she doesn't play it because I think she wants him. I play it just for the wordsmith of it all. I just play.
I don't know. That's too much energy for me. I can't. I mean, that's way too much energy for me, so I can't do it. I get bored, like Brandon. Like I get bored like Brandon. Like, can we move on? Like Judge Judy tapping her watch thing. I'm like, can we please kind of like go? I'm like, I'm tired. I got other stuff I want to enjoy. Like I want to enjoy my shows. I want to enjoy my movies. Can we just please move it along? Because I don't got time. I got one life to live. I mean, I just want to be able to enjoy my life. Like, anyways, any other thoughts on them?
Mm.
All right, so moving right along to not a perfect toxic storm. Like she likes to play in the rain while he's the growing hurricane of it all. I mean, that's probably the best analogy there is. So, anyways, we go to all the couples meeting up with Taronda to
You mean we're gonna graze over Aaron J in the hot tub?
yeah, I didn't really care. So I didn't make a note. So I'm like, I don't really care. If you want to talk about it, go right ahead. I'll stay mute for a
He
month.
got his dangly earring out for this. We gotta acknowledge his earring. Well, what I wanted to say with the Aaron J is that she said her nickname was Jody. Um she's not spending any time with this man. She's not. She's like, she said that's all you. She ain't getting in a hot tub. That's all you. You can go in a hot tub. And he's trying to do different things to spend time with her. And he decide I'm going into the hot tub and certainly you could join me, but she's staying inside. And then Greg tried to be all nice about it. Well, she doesn't want to mess up her hair. She doesn't want to mess up her hair. Yet here comes his girl Millie with her hair all clipped up, and she's like, "What are we talking about?" And then she's like, "Oh, she didn't feel nothing. She just here for Greg." I mean, Millie was like, "You ain't getting me into anybody else's drama. You ain't getting me into anybody's drama." But she was inside. She was inside doing whatever at the counter, and she's like, "That's all you." I'm like, "This is the man you came here for. Spend at least a little time with him."
She don't like that man. She don't like that man at all. I mean, that's why I guess I didn't really care because it's so obvious at this point she don't like him. Even during this next part, it was clear she don't like him. I mean, I don't know. Like if they don't like give me anything other than they don't like each other, then I don't really care. So I'm like, anyways, any other thoughts on them? All right. So everyone meets up with Taronda out by like what was it I don't know, there wasn't even like a little pit fire thing or anything. I don't think it was
She's
just
their dating guardian.
dating garden. What is she, a fairy godmother? What? Wait, did she say that and I just missed it or something? Because
Yes, she's like, I made a note specifically. I am your dating guardian. I
oh,
was like, what the hell is that?
okay, Miss Fairy Godmother. Oh, anyways, so she's telling them, they will be doing individual activities, group activities, and then dates. And there will be let's just cut to the chase. The boom boom room. Um,
Intimacy suite.
no, the boom boom room. No, we're gonna call it what it is. The boom boom room. If they so choose to use it. Um,
Is this like Love Island?
well, basically, I mean, they just don't have the cost or more of it all. So, so I mean, uh, I don't know. Um, anyway, so they are going to do this
Wait,
Kama
I have a
Sutra
question.
exercise.
I
Yeah.
have a question about that intimacy suite slash boom boom room. Is it Do you have to create a schedule because there's so many couples? What if two couples want it at the same time? What is the cleaning schedule for that room? I mean, I have so many questions about this boom boom room. You gotta have more than one room.
Well, first of all, and I don't remember who said it last night. But somebody said it, and I was like, after thinking about it, I agree with them. I am never going in that room
ever.
ever. No. Um. So even if they gave me assurances that they will clean it, no. Um. What we can do is we can sneak into one of the men's only rooms, like the room that they are only, because aren't the men in their own individual rooms?
No,
Well, I thought they were.
they're
Um,
sharing. They're sharing not as many as all the women in one, but there were
okay,
like 3 or 4 beds in each room for the men.
okay. Well then we could do like Casa or not Casa more. We could do like Love Island and just get it like I mean, because I'm not about to go into a room where I mean a single room where people are. I mean, because that I mean, even if like I said, you're assuring me that y'all are cleaning it. No, let's let's not say we supposedly did. So, um, no.
Sorry, I had questions about that room. I was like, they left a whole lot out.
What do you think of Jay's question here?
Well, it's just a room, so I'm guessing that the crew is underneath. Ain't nobody getting any privacy here.
Mhm.
So, so I don't know if it's spare house or not, but ain't nobody getting any privacy up in here. And I'm sure there's still cameras or audio in that room that I do not want owned to have the privilege of having. So that's another reason I won't be in that room.
I mean, they could be like what they face is off of Summer House Martha's Vineyard, Jasmine and her husband Silas, where they
Yep.
went at it like rabbits in the first season. I mean, and just making noise all through their damn house at night. I mean, either way, it's a no. I mean, I wouldn't have waited, you know, 2 months, let alone 12 years, to meet up with someone and then get it in. But I mean, that's just me. Because like I said, I told y'all last live, I had a boyfriend where I was in Virginia and he was in Maine, and I didn't even wait like 6 months. So I mean, um,
Well, I think it's different strokes for different folks because some people, can meet someone the same evening and have a one night stand, and some people that's not their philosophy.
I mean, I get that and I get that, but I don't understand why it's taking more than like 2 months to meet. I mean, I understand not being able to do it right away because it's like you have to get you have to make sure get the time off, or whatever, to like either go up to them or they come to you and you have like at least a couple of days to yourself or whatever to kind of bond or whatever in person. But I mean, to wait
I
more than
get I give everybody a little grace except the LA couple, except Millie and Greg. Y'all too close. We could have met at a park.
okay, I will not fight that. I will not fight that. I can at least get behind, because it's like this is just what you think, and I can't be mad at that. So I mean, anyway, so let's get into the poses that they have to choose from. Like I said before the live started, I only got what each couple picked. If you remember what the other person picked, or what the other choice was, um, please let me know, because I sure is all get out did not remember it and did not choose and did not write it down. So first up for tribute is Sandia and Chris, and one of the poses was Lotus Blossom. Do you know what the other one was? You
No.
Jay, I'm not showing it. I'm not showing the poses because I tried to do this before the live started, and all I got was like I got to websites where, because you know how it went down last night for you. Like the websites that I went to. I didn't even try to look for the pictures. I just like on the I went to Yahoo, and so I tried to look at the pictures there, but they didn't have really any pictures. So they didn't have the X-rated pictures, but when I tried to go to the websites, they were X-rated. So I'm not getting I'm not trying to go there and have my YouTube taken down because I can't because I show some X-rated stuff. So
Oh my
like
God, we do not have Sean here, so we're good without pictures.
yeah.
Okay, we are good without the pictures.
Yes. So the pillows that they picked was Lotus Blossom, and I just uh I don't um really buy much of anything he's saying at all.
Well, he said he likes the position and he's ready for more, but you just told me you don't trust women. You don't trust me. I'm still, applying for your trust, but you want more. You want more intimacy without trust. Okay, Chris. Okay.
Talk
See,
about
that's where I would be on wordplay with him.
talk about the flip flopping of it all. I mean, if anybody's flip flopping, it's him too. So I'm like, can we kind of cut it out, please? But yeah, I don't. And then she just basically sat there and said, "Yeah, me too. Me too." Okay, Dorothy's Warnack, not a I do so too or whatever she said during that wedding episode to Stan. I mean,
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, no, I no. They can both get off my screen because they're both playing our faces too. So at this point, anyways, Josh and Shay do the curled angel. I kind of remember what they did. I remember I can see what they did. I remember what the pose that it was. I just don't remember the obviously the other one, but that they had to choose from. But I don't know. I mean, other than the fact that they went 12 years a whole not seeing each other or not meeting up, and the fact that he had a baby on her, even though they're supposedly together. I mean, they seem kind of cute. They seem kind of cute together. I kind of need to see more and all that because I don't really think they had much any arguments that we've seen or at all, if any. So, um, I mean, not really much to say about them in my opinion. But I don't know about you.
No, nothing much to say about them.
Okay, so Aaron and Joanna, Aaron, what is it, Aaron J? They do the wheelbarrow, and they went ahead and did rock paper scissors. They are children. If they're doing it, having to resort to rock paper scissors to determine which one they're gonna do. Um, no, no.
Sorry, we ain't making a choice like that. We gonna make a choice. Well, I'm gonna say I prefer to do that, and you could say the other, and somebody gonna capitulate. But we ain't doing rock paper scissors. This ain't a playground,
Hmm.
and that is not going to endure me to you. That is this how we gonna make decisions in the future? I mean, dag. And then you're looking at the picture and you can't get the position right. That's where it would have been upsetting for me.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, it don't look like the picture. I was like, are they showing?
Right.
So I was
But
like,
but we can give him grace and say, okay, maybe it does. He's paying more attention to her rather than the picture. We can say that, but it don't look like the picture.
yeah, Tyra. I was like, they got it mostly right, I think, but I think like her legs were supposed to be over his or something like that, and it
No, he
just
got it right after. He got it right at the end.
oh okay, I
See, you
maybe
ain't paying attention to the picture neither.
yeah no like not AA Ron. Okay, but
Aaron J.
um, and I mean, I so Diamond and the other Aaron, they both say that Aaron and Joanna don't look like they have any chemistry at all and they're more friends. And I get it and I understand it and I agree with it. My issue is that Diamond's the way Diamond said it, I guess, was weird to me. Maybe it was just me, and maybe I just did. I haven't liked her since the beginning, since the first episode when she got into the house and or something, and I just don't like her. I just don't like her energy or something. I just and it's some part of me thinks that Aaron H only said it because she said it. I don't know.
Could be, could be based on his conversations before, but she's very vocal about everybody's relationship. Diamond with a Y is very vocal about other people's relationship, and I don't hear her too vocal about hers. So is she doing the same thing that Jody's doing? She ain't really into this man. She don't like him,
And
but she
there
just
there's
here.
like you have all this pontification of everyone else's relationship but your own. Like you waited a whole 2 or 3 years to confront this dude about how he had a picture of a ring he was going to use to propose to another woman, but you couldn't tell him like I don't care if production put you up to saying something and saying, well, I waited 2 or 3 years to tell him this in person. I don't care. Like if this isn't a non-issue, like why do you like? I mean, y'all already talked about it before. What do you need to talk about it again? Like I don't get it. I mean, if it was such an issue, you should have been hashed this out. Like, uh, but you don't want to. But you got a whole bunch of stuff to say about other people. So I guess that's my issue. I was like, please stop. Like, I don't.
Yeah, yeah. She just but she's talking about everybody. I was like, Diamond, focus on your dude.
Hmm. So Greg and Millie pick the Eagle. Not much, really. I think they probably have the most chemistry personally. Um, other than um, other than Shay and Josh, but um, I think that she is doing it right, honestly, by you know pumping the brakes a little bit. I'm not sure about Greg though, just because I kind of get undercover f boy vibes from him. Like he's the very 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 covert one, like he who shall not be named, from RTL. Um, because I was kind of snowed by him. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of snowed by he who should not be named. Um, and I
Okay.
wasn't really hip to him until like the getaway, but
Okay.
unfortunately, so that is my cross to bear. And so I guess I'm getting a little PTSD from that, so that's why I'm keeping an eye on Greg. um
Well, for me, Greg is like I can see Greg and Chris at the club together. And while Chris is the one popping bottles, and you know which character, and but Greg is the quiet friend. And the girls may be like, oh, Chris is a player, but they want to go after Greg, who's the quiet friend.
mhm.
So yeah. Yeah. So I could see Greg playing that, oh, I'm the little jokester, but I'm the quiet friend at first. So yeah, I could totally see him as a player.
Okay, sorry, I was because I mean I'm not trying to be tied up in courts, Jay. So I'm like, that's why I'm like gonna that's why I messaged you because I was like, I'm not
You
trying
don't
to.
want you don't want their bot to come find you.
Nope, not at all. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I can. I mean, I wouldn't be. It wouldn't surprise me if he goes to the clubs, um, or maybe it's the lounges of it all, like LeBron. I don't know. Maybe he just goes to lounges instead of the clubs because apparently, like lounges are different from clubs. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I like I said, I'm just gonna keep a close eye on him and all that stuff because I have PTSD. I'm not trying to be like, I'm not trying to have too much scars because of that PTSD. That about, not that about looking at in real life. I mean, I mean, I still find it hilarious that he blocked every one of y'all except for me. I'm like, it's so hilarious. I'm like, what is
Because you're not problematic.
that? That's no. It's just I don't care enough to keep going at him. That's why. That's probably why he doesn't care enough about me. So I don't care enough about him.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So I'm
Understood.
like,
Understood.
I'm like, I mean, I don't know. I'm just speculating at this point, but I mean, that could be it. I mean, Aquarius brethren, apparently. So I mean,
Mm,
I told you already. I don't really believe that part, but I mean.
I believe it.
Anyway, that's not this is not the show. This is not the same show.
Nope.
So let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. So Aaron and Diamonds are up next, and they pick the splitting bamboo. Oh, and then of course you got another person who just loves the sucking of the feet and the sucking of the toes. So, because he said if she would be okay with it, he would do it out in public, little with his little freaky self. I'm like, okay,
I'm hearing judgment in your tone, ma'am.
sorry.
I'm hearing judgment. It may not be what tickles my fancy, but if your partner wishes to worship you however they wish to, certainly. And especially if you're wearing some high heels for their viewing pleasure, they need to relieve the stress on the feet. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. No matter what how can I say it, what part of your temple they wish to worship at, let them have it if you're comfortable with it. If he's good and you're good, hey, whatever.
Well, and like how you said, the older we get, the more we become prudes. Maybe I'm just a prude at this point. At 32 years of age, maybe I'm just a prude. So I don't know. I mean that. I mean, I guess maybe it's just like as long as I don't gotta see it, I don't care. But I mean, if you're saying that you're gonna be doing it out in public where the whole world can see it, or maybe not the whole world, but I mean, if
I
you
mean,
can,
there's nothing wrong with your partner rubbing your feet in public.
that yeah, okay, that I'll agree with. But the whole, I mean, he said if she was okay with it, he would suck and like lick her toes or whatever in public. That was my whole thing. At least as far as
Now,
I remember.
there are couples that they would lick each other's fingers in public. So I don't see it as much difference.
That's too close to certain body parts. I'm sorry. That's way too close. That's a little bit to me in my mind. That's a little bit closer than
What I was saying with the prude thing is in our 20s, people will, ooh, the Kama Sutra, and want to try, da da da, and know everything. But then we are more mature at a particular age. We're like, I don't remember that, or I don't want to try that, or, I'm like, now that you're a little more seasoned, reading it and experiencing it would be different. That's what I was saying by older, some people they get to be a little more of a prude.
Mm. I will not object to that because I kind of feel like Sean at this point right now. So
uh, no.
I love you, Sean. Trust me, I love you. I agree with you a lot of the time. So I'm like,
Okay.
well, and then last but not least, Brandon and Sienna pick the ship. And she just said, "Ship, let's do it," and then just sat on his like lap or like lap part. I mean,
Yes.
I don't know. And
Yes.
then nothing was happening for her sexually, and then he had to put his foot in his mouth and say, uh, "I'm bored. I want to turn on the TV." I'm like, I mean, I get it. She clearly wasn't feeling him when she just unilaterally picked that pose for the both of them, but you really think that's gonna make her change her tune at all? So I understood like why she was upset about that comment because I was like, yeah, that wouldn't entice me to want to try to turn it up or whatever in any way. So I mean, I don't know.
I understand. For me, I was more, oh my God, it's painful because I saw how she was sitting on his pelvic bone, and I was like, okay, he's not a bench. This is just a demonstration. You don't
True.
have to pull your full weight on him. So, I know he didn't want to say, get up off of me, but it just looked uncomfortable.
I'll give you that. It did look uncomfortable. Mm. Yeah, and it just keeps going downhill from there too. So, well, like I said, we'll get to it. Um, I kind of made a note of it, just because it seemed like Greg was supportive of Millie not going that full steam ahead, like with the sex part of the relationship. So, which I mean, I thought was nice of him, but again, I was kind of like, my spidey senses were kind of tingling a little bit. I'm like, is he just saying that just to kind of put her at ease and um not be suspicious of him and his F boy ways or what? Because I don't know.
Yeah, he's talking like we ready for the intimacy suite, and she's like, she's trying to get on with a relationship, but
Hmm.
he's like, oh, she opened up, and I didn't even have to buy her dinner. I was like, okay, Greg, you showing yourself.
Mm,
You showing yourself.
mm-mm.
And he would have sped past somebody's caution sign. And I'm like, okay, Greg, how you speeding past these caution signs? Are you trying to convince these ladies after dinner, that you care about them? How are we speeding past caution signs? Because that's what's, putting off the alarm bells in my head. Like, oh yeah, you just the quiet friend of Chris at the
Mm,
club.
yeah. Mm. Yeah, yeah. The thoughts on that whole situation because that's the only thing I had in mind. So,
No, we'll talk about them again with their advice.
okay. The rest of the episode is really just Brandon and Sienna and their whole debacle, where they're playing pool and she wants him to move to New York. Um, which to be honest, quite honest, I forgot he had kids. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot he had kids. Um, so um, so I do understand where everyone is coming from with the whole. Well, she's more flexible. She can pick up and move. I can understand that. Um, guess where I was coming from last night when I watched it was she's allowed to change her mind, and this was before she like when I was watching. This was I was thinking that when I was watching the episode, and so this was before I saw her basically admit that she's had two or three people say that about her, that she was inconsistent when Brandon brought that up. So, and I was like, girl, I was trying to ride for you. I was trying to ride for you until you said that. And then it went all the way left even more when she said, well, you're a B. Girl, you just messed up your chances to have people on your side. Like even more. When you called him out his name. Just because I think even Jay said it last night. It's like as much as you as women don't want to be called outside of their name, we should not be doing that to men. We can't do it just because men seem to get away with it, and we had this mindset of two wrongs will make a right or whatever. So yeah, I mean, girl, I can't. I cannot. Did I miss something with that whole part of the conversation, or did
Well,
I?
the only thing was earlier the way we were presented it. Earlier, he was telling her about that house and real estate and how you can get a house like this in Florida for a fraction of the price that you would pay in New York. He was just telling her real estate, and she's like, "Really? Wow." I'm glad production did play, their previous videos where she agreed to, consider Florida. And I have to say, in my historical stuff, I moved from Brooklyn to Florida when I
Mm-hmm,
left New York.
mm-hmm.
Um, didn't want my eldest going through the New York City public school system.
Okay.
Wasn't happening. So when he was born, I was like, "Oh, we got 4 years. We
Mm-hmm,
got 4 years before we got to start pre-K." So went to Florida, and it is a cultural shift change. It is a different way of thinking. I can't
mm-hmm.
ride the train. I got to drive everywhere.
I understand. I lived in Florida
Whew.
from like 6 to like 8 or 9, maybe. So it was about like 2 or 3 years myself. Cause I little backstory. I was born in New York City. Lived there for about 6 years, before my parents divorced, and then my mom took us down to Florida, because that's where the bulk of her family lives in Florida. It's about an hour or so away from Tallahassee. So, and that's where I lived was Tallahassee at the time. So, it's definitely different. Don't miss the humidity at all, but it's definitely different. So, I mean,
I was where Diamond is from. I was in Sanford, Florida. So
where's that?
just north of Orlando, about 30, 40 minutes north on
Okay,
I-4 from Orlando.
okay.
But it was the scene or site two of the Trayvon Martin case.
Oh, okay.
So it is a culture shock, but it isn't anything that you can't overcome. And even though I was married and have a kid and we're having that conversation, it irks me when someone says a single person without kids it's easier for them to move. I know what they mean. I know exactly what they mean. It is um
Oh,
less dynamics, less things to consider,
mhm.
less people to consider. But that single person without kids also has a life. They have friends, they have connections, they have networks, they have a life that they want to preserve. So I understand what it is. Is just for me, word semantics. We talked about Chris. Word semantic for me. Um, but yes, it will be less dynamics for her to move than for him. And he said, a 13-year-old son and a 4-year-old daughter. So I could totally understand. But my thing is, like I said on, another round last night, why can't we test it out? We're not visiting each other. I mean, why are we talking about moving and I haven't even seen where you live? I haven't seen I don't have to meet your kids, of course, not right away, but I could at least come to Florida and see how you live.
Mhm.
Making no promises to move. Like, let me see how you live. And you come to New York when you have, chance and don't have fatherly responsibilities. Because he says he travels all over. So he
Mm,
still travels even though he has the kids. So You could travel to New York, even if it's 4 or 5 days. We could see each other. I mean, and then she says, at least three of men have told her she's inconsistent. Now, the only grace I will tell her is that it seemed really quick to go to the B word. It seemed real quick. So I'm thinking there's something left out. But due to his mannerisms, I'm not sure. He doesn't seem, the push button type, but there's the nice, quiet, gentle way of pushing people's buttons. I haven't seen it from him, so it'll be a total guess and conjecture for me.
Hmm.
But she went straight there, and he's like agreeing with the men who've told you that. So clearly you have a pattern of history, and clearly you don't wish to discuss it. But your way of fighting it is taking him before the crowd to try and get more people to get on his case. Why would
Exactly.
why would you do that to somebody that you love or somebody that you even care for? Why would you do that? It just is like, okay, I need y'all to help me, I can't get on him myself, so I need the rest of you to help me beat him up. It's like, lady.
Yeah, because not only did she say this to his face when they're just playing pool, but like she said, well, you had a failed marriage, and then you tried something with the father, the mother of your child or children of your other child, and it still didn't work out. And she not only said that in front of, because I forgot that part for a second, but she not only said that to him while they were playing pool by themselves, but she brought that up in front of the whole you know group. Um, and I think because I think yeah, I was watching Miss Misha's video on it this morning, and I think she said it sounds like like you said, she was just trying to get people to get on her side. And I said in Jay's chat last night that it sounded very much like she was still hurt by what he said during the exercise in front of everyone, where he was bored. I think part of it is that. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's the whole reason, but that definitely played a factor into why she was highly upset.
I
Because there
mean,
could be other things, but I
I
just
mean, she doesn't know how to, again, wordsmithing. She doesn't know how to, have a comeback. So when he was doing the exercise with everybody, he said he's bored, and I would be like, honey, I'm bored too, but we ain't actually in the midst, and we won't be bored when we are between and betwixt. I mean, she doesn't have like comebacks, that are, funny yet respectful.
mhm.
And I'm like, girl, or lady, you're taking him out there. And not only that, you are sharing his business. He did not tell these people he was married before.
Exactly.
He's sharing his personal business with you. He's sharing the limitations of his life. He's sharing this. And he's like, let's dive deeper to your inconsistencies. And yes, it could be triggering, but it does not cause you to call your partner. Now, the name, we've all had disagreements with a partner. And I'm not a call you out your name. I'm not a calling you anything. I'm a say what I want to say, but I'm not going to disrespect you like that. And I'm not taking the argument to the group of people I don't know. Like Greg says, we've been here 72 hours. Well, I don't know these people. And I'm telling them your business. She does not argue fair. And she's like, oh, he has a broken marriage. And he said, I applaud him, Brandon. You stayed calm in the midst of this storm. You stay calm because, oh, he has a broken marriage. He was 2021. I mean, he sounded like he got married at 18. And as he
Right.
said, it was for the sake of the child. People do that. People do that. And then he's like, well, he had another kid and that didn't work out with the baby mama. He's like, it was 10 years later. 10 years. He thought he had it right. maybe. But what happened was she did not get the roar of the crowd.
Mhm.
You know, Jody, Aaron J's girl was like, that's 15 years. This man has changed. This man has grown. He sees something different. He's moving differently. And I think the other one was Millie telling her, like, hey, haven't you had bad relationships? Haven't you broken up with people? Just because you haven't been married doesn't mean your relationship history is couldn't be used against you like you're using his. She did not get the roar of the crowd, and I think that got her really heated. That got her really like, oh my god, y'all aren't hearing me. And it's like, then let it go. She doesn't want to think and absorb about what people are telling her. Oh my god.
Mm-mm. Yeah, and I think I was just thinking maybe it's like the it's starting to look like to me maybe she is taking things way too personally. Um, like and so and this is something I know I struggle with is like taking things like personally and all that stuff, and I'm trying to work on that, but it seems like she's taking things way too personally. And for her, the way she kind of deals with that is to completely lash out verbally and cuts very, 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 very deep. Where and unfortunately, I don't know if this is something because we see it in the preview where she throws, or at least what I guess we assume is her. Because did it actually show her throwing the flowers, or was it just flowers being thrown and it was landing at Brandon's feet?
For the like two previous previews and in the trailer, you see it. Not this preview. You don't see her actually throwing it in this preview, but you do see in the trailer for the show, a lady with locks taking the flowers and throwing it back at Brandon, who we know now,
Okay,
and it lands at his feet. So
thanks
the
for the
way they presented it before the show even started, it was that she threw the flowers at him.
okay. Um, yeah. So I mean, it's just girl. I don't. I mean, it just it just like I said, sounds like she's taking things very very personally, and like it's such a like she's such a bad person, like this evil person for whatever she says or thinks or whatever, or and so she doesn't know how to deal with that, and so the way to do that, way to handle it for her is to just um say something that can't really be undone, unfortunately, and so she looks like she's going to continue showing her entire behind, unfortunately. So I'm like,
Yeah, because Jody, Aaron J's girl said, when are we going to stop seeing failure as bad and start seeing failure as growth? And
mm-hmm,
Millie said, shows her that she's no better with her failed relationships. She did not expect that, and it came from the women. I
yeah.
think that too is what had her seething. Oh my
Oh,
God,
that's
you're
a good
supposed to be
point.
my girls.
That
You're,
is a very good point. I didn't even consider that part, but that's a good point. I'm like, ugh.
y'all supposed to be my girls. I came here to put him through the ringer and get some girl power, and y'all are on his side.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, but you don't know these women either. You don't know him. You don't know these women.
mm-mm.
So then they have Greg talk to Sienna, and then they have Brandon talk to Millie.
So I could follow Millie and Brandon's conversation because it wasn't that hard to follow because they can actually talk. So she was telling Brandon that he really isn't a bad guy, and that he um for she was trying to explain to him that she just so I guess might want an alpha male, which he understood, but he didn't he felt like, well, you're communicating with me pretty well right here, right now, but she can't. So that was where he was coming from. But the only thing I really had for Greg and Sienna's conversation was that she didn't seem to say a whole bunch of anything. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention because it's, I don't know. Did she actually say something?
Yes, Greg said that, like Trey said on another round last night, to call it dirty macking. Greg was saying that, maybe Brandon's word choice wasn't, the best. Maybe he couldn't find the right words to express what he was saying that would resonate with her, and that, don't beat him up for his word choice. Talk to him, find out what the root of it is.
Okay.
And then she's comfortable with just being friends. If he is, he needs, and I don't like this expression either. He needs to be a man about his feelings. If he's a man about his feelings. I was like, he is a man. So, and he does have feelings. So,
Okay,
and,
so
and I don't like that Millie whole alpha male thing. And it's like, there are different personalities, and it can, my grandfather was a man of few words, but he had presence. He had presence. He was, in the art world, and so he would create and design costumes and different things. No one would ever question if he was, a strong man. So this whole alpha male thing, that part I did not like. But I understand what she was trying to say, but we don't need to be butting heads. We don't need to be butting heads. But he did say she crossed the line calling him the B word, and I understand that.
yeah.
So do you think it was going behind her back talking to Millie?
No, because she was doing this. I mean, because I mean, I do mostly remember what Greg said to Sienna, but yeah, Sienna was talking to Greg about Brandon. So, like, if she's gonna say that, then Brandon has as much right to say she was doing the same exact thing. So we really don't have a leg to stand on, to be honest. Um, so I don't know.
But it's like I'm going to guess this is her first show. They were present, they were sitting there speaking. She was outside with Greg outside the room, and I'm like, he's not going behind your back. If you notice the dynamic, that's why I asked, is it production led? Did production set it up because they had the opposite sides of the couples talking to each other?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either. And it's like, she's like, oh, he's going behind my back. You're not very open right now for him to even approach you.
Exactly.
So he's got to talk to somebody about what the heck just happened. And to get a female perspective is, understood. But I think it's the issue with Millie for her, I think, is because Millie had just said, you ain't no better with your failed relationships. Just because it ain't a marriage don't mean it ain't a failed relationship. I think that's why she couldn't stay. It was Millie or Jody, the two ladies who roasted her, she would have had an issue with it. Now, if it was one of the other ladies, I think it would be less as excitable. But those two roasted her. I was like, "Ooh, yeah, Millie, you on her list."
Hmm.
But it's like, can we have a conversation? Like Tevin Campbell say, can we talk for a minute? Can we talk just for a minute? Why do we have to be calling each other out of our names? Why do we have to be, and you're doing this to this man and he's not excitable. He's not rising to the occasion. Brandon is, in that instance, Brandon exhibits like my behavior. I would sit and watch the show because you're putting on a show. You're
Mm,
dancing, you're singing, and I'm cataloging everything you're doing and saying. And I'm gonna wait till later till you, like a toddler, wore yourself out, and then we're gonna talk about it. But yeah, Brandon, exhibited my patience. I would sit there and watch you. It's like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. Okay, and make mental notes.
mm. I wouldn't say. Maybe this is just me being toxic, but I would just not say nothing. Just sit there and like wait until you start acting right. Because if you don't want to act right, then just leave me alone. Maybe so again, maybe that's just me being toxic, but I'm just like, because like I said, at top of the like, so at some point in this live, like I only have one life to live. I ain't got time to wait for you to like sit there in front of you, waiting, hoping that you're gonna act right, and clearly you're not. So either gonna act right or just leave me alone. Like please, I don't got time. So I mean, because that's just way too much time and energy expended on my part to worry about whether or not you're gonna again act right. Because that's the only way I can phrase it at the moment. So I mean, please stop. I don't know.
Hey, but we'll find out next week. And oh, as you said with the trailer, he brought her flowers, and I wouldn't have done that. I understand why he did. He's a man of a particular age. Your woman feels upset. You try to cheer her up. You bring her flowers. But to me, it sounds like you apologizing because you did something wrong.
Right.
What did you do wrong? Or what are you're emboldening her for me. You're emboldening her to act like this because you just gonna turn around and bring flowers. And
Hmm.
technically, if the flowers hit him, I can't remember. I think it hit his knee and then dropped. That's assault. I mean, what we doing? What we doing here? Own. What are we doing? We're going
They
from
said
physical, verbal, back to physical. What we doing?
they said, and you get a tussle, and you get a tussle, and you get a tussle. Whether it's physical or verbal, they don't care. They were like, and you get all this and then some because I I don't know. Because I mean, Ready to Love and this were are like the only ones where only shows that I really watched like that or tried to watch like that. So I don't know what it was like even 2 or 3 years ago. Maybe someone can explain it, like if it was better. But I'm hoping that it was better. But I really don't have much faith that it was. So I mean, they just
Right to Love was better, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. The most you would hear is, different like the boy's mine in the ladies' lounge. It wasn't even this
mhm.
whole she can get it, Tommy. It wasn't mm-mm. It wasn't that.
I'm so sorry. I did not mean to yell like that, guy. I'm so sorry.
It wasn't like that. It would be like, he said, I am his, main girl. He said I'm his number one. And she's like, yeah, he said that to me too. Well, I'm not gonna acknowledge what she just said, but he told me. And the other lady would be like, well, he told me too. And either they don't want to catalog that the man is lying to them, or they just want to be like, well, we'll see who reigns supreme. It will be the little digs, but nothing nothing like we could take it outside. Mm-mm. It's about dating. It's about getting to know each other. It's about getting the other person kind of kicked off the show and go about your business. And that's what I find interesting with Ready to Love. I don't see the men carrying on like that, especially when they're pursuing the same woman. That's just me. But there were some little things back in the day. Like the first season was really really good. You'll see the ladies who think they're higher up on the totem pole, and then you see the men kind of bring them down a peg or two by like, yeah, I don't like that about her. The men were more vocal about characteristics that they didn't like.
Okay.
They were more like, okay, I could see, when she did that, I really didn't like it. That screams mean girl to me. That, I can't have that around my kids. It was just more deliberations and talking.
Mm.
But yeah, it would be interesting if you go either season 1 or season 2, definitely. Anything before the Houston resort.
Okay.
But I do like the resort. I wish, Own, you could scrap this. Please take all the single ready to love folks and put them on a resort now from all seasons. Fan favorites and everyone. And do it like a what is that oh gosh, what is the show where everybody's living together and they get voted out?
Survivor.
No, not Survivor. The one where they're living together in the studio.
Big Brother.
Big Brother. Do it Big Brother style where we can see the, camera footage and the live, stuff. That would be awesome. So Own, get the single rated love folk. Get all the past cast members that are not problematic. And that's a huge thing. What kind of problematic? But let's get those with good credit scores and
You
are
know,
ideally single.
now you know these people with good credit scores ain't gonna come on the show. Like that is like wishing for I don't even know what the perfect 10 would be. Like it's gonna be like not gonna happen. You just know it's not gonna happen. So that is like wishing on a falling star or wishing at 11:11 a.m. or 11:11 p.m. Trying to like so no. No.
Well, bring some new fresh faces and bring some of the old cast and throw them on a resort. That would be amazing. That I would tune in for. And if you have like the live, cameras on at like from 8 to 9, like Big Brother did, yeah, I would watch that.
I don't know. Uh, I mean, because so I mean, they got me thinking. Like, okay, so are you gonna watch Math season 18?
Yeah, I'll watch it. I always love the weddings and the reactions, and now that people could say no at the altar, I'm definitely watching.
Only reason why I was asking was because I was really really gonna say no because after because if y'all watched Math season 17, y'all know that was just deader than a dead horse. Um,
Denver.
so I
But they're
don't.
going where? Is it Chicago, Detroit, Philly? Where are they
Chicago.
going?
They
Chicago?
already
Oh,
went to Philly twice, I think. Um,
really?
yeah, they went because I remember watching the first Philly season. I could have sworn no, it was not, never mind. That was Boston. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm mixing it up. Sorry, you're right. They haven't gone to Philly yet, as far as I know. Um, but because they went to New York twice, they're doing Chicago a second time. They went to Atlanta for sure. They went to Houston. They went to Dallas. They haven't done Austin yet for Texas. So I don't. I think Austin's going to be one of them soon. I think after Chicago, of course. But I think, and then they obviously did California. They haven't done anything. They did DC. They have. I don't think they
They've done
did
Seattle.
yet. Wait, they did or they haven't done it yet. They did or
Oh
didn't.
no, I'm thinking Love is Blind. They did not.
Yeah.
They did
Okay.
not. Maps did not.
Okay. And then I think they did Miami around there ish for season 4. I think they went there. And then they haven't been back to Florida again. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't I don't know. I was like I said, I was thinking about not doing it and then
I'll give it a gander, just like I like Maps Australia. I'll give it a gander.
yeah, I'll try. I don't know if I want to commit to like
Yeah, don't
watching it.
commit.
I
Yeah,
mean, like, I don't know if I wanna do the whole wedding because they take so long to do freaking weddings and get to the actual, like, honeymoon. I don't wanna know if I wanna
and
be
that's
at.
what you could do. You can wait till like the after all the weddings are complete and just do okay, we're gonna start.
But then I like to watch the matchmaking episode because then that I think gives you a lot of insight too. That's why I stayed on Emily's neck during the last season because they gave a lot. I think they showed a little bit of what she said in from the matchmaking in the very first episode, but they give you a lot of insight.
He was so bad, it kind of downplayed her issues.
Yeah.
He was real
So,
bad. I was like, "Oh God, you got to cover it up better, sir."
so I don't know. I was the only reason why I was bringing it up was because I was like, if you feel like it's pretty good and like it gets pretty juicy or something,
Girl,
then
I prefer
maybe.
to Love Is Blind, the international stuff. I prefer
Yeah,
the
no,
international shows. Ain't
yeah,
nobody doing the international shows. The US shows, you'll find something, or you could do, like another favorite channel of ours, Queen E. She does, several episodes together if you want to do that. But the international shows, yes. Love is Blind Sweden, Love is Blind, and the Maths Australia, Maths UK, and Love is Blind is coming up with some several international shows. I can't wait.
yeah. I definitely want to. So I'm still looking forward to the.
Like you told me, Maths UK, Maths Habibi, and that is why I did not call that gentleman Habibi that season.
I didn't watch that season, but I knew there was one.
His mama named him Travis.
You know what? Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna get into that because that is obviously just.
right. But I did refuse to call him. And then there was another Love Is Blind. I want to do another. I wish they did Sweden again. And I wish they did Love Is Blind Australia because Australia has some really good folks, really good stories.
Yeah. Um, they're they're doing they're doing Mexico again, like
Yes.
I said, and then they're doing Germany.
Yes.
And then um, I'm hoping that like
And I don't need a VPN to watch it. That's what I love.
right. That is good. Yeah, I definitely want. So I'm definitely gonna be doing the UK one for Love Is Blind.
Hmm.
I'll have you on if you're cool with that, and then um,
Yeah, we
I'll
have to look at the dates. We have to look at the dates.
um, they don't have dates for Mexico, Habibi, or Germany, as far as I know. The only one that has like even a semi solid date is UK because they said that they're coming out in August.
Perfect. And
But
then Jay is also starting, I believe it's in August, or maybe July. She's doing Game of Thrones.
okay.
You know,
Um,
Dance of the Dragons.
oh wait, hold on. So I just found on the Wikipedia page for Love Is Blind that they're doing an Argentina version, supposedly.
Well, they did Brazil. That would make sense, but Argentina's inflation is crazy right now. I
Maybe
can't
that's why they're
even.
doing it because the inflation is crazy.
These are expensive.
But I know I was just looking at that because it's like they haven't put Mexico up there
Date.
yet in the on the Wikipedia page, but I just saw that Argentina was added to the list.
Yeah,
That's why
yeah.
I
I
was,
think so you and I watch the international shows a lot. So, and there's no one really reviewing them,
yeah.
really. So
I
we'll
mean,
get it together.
I wouldn't mind going back to rewatch Japan for sure because I really love that one. And if you want, we can try to like go over that a little
I
bit.
didn't watch that one. I only watched half of Brazil because I need to sit and watch it.
Hmm.
But and read the closed captions.
Hmm.
But that's why I like Sweden. I could just listen and glance up, listen and glance up. But I mean, I'd go back to Sweden, but if you, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do Japan, but you certainly feel free to do
Mm,
Japan.
okay.
But yeah,
No, that's
there's a lot of good international shows that you do a Kojo reverse.
right. I'm sure he's. Well, I don't know. I don't. I wouldn't say I'm sure, but I mean, if he doesn't know by now that UK is coming out with Love Is Blind, then
He
he might.
does, he does. I told him he should have been on the season, at least season 2. Yeah.
Mm,
Okay then, girl.
well, yeah, I was trying to kind of search it out a little bit because I figured we wouldn't go past like 2 hours, but yeah, with that, anything else on the actual show?
No, we can give it a chance. I'm hoping that it gets better and about the relationships rather than about the mudslinging and, sensationalism of fighting. That's all.
Mm, yeah, me too. I'm hoping that too because at this point, I'm drained. I'm drained. Like, I mean, this week was long, but it was just draining long. Like, it wasn't like I like people were getting on my nerves long. So it's just, I mean, why do you think we think this is entertaining? Like, verbal sparring and physical sparring is just. If I wanted to see people beat each other up physically, I could watch boxing or something. But you know, that's not my cup of tea, so I don't go watch it. Um, but and then you know, people verbally assaulting each other isn't good to see either because it's like that takes a toll on you mentally a lot too. So I'm like, ugh. But we here and we're reviewing it. So I mean, hopefully it gets better. But again, I'm not holding that much hope based on these first two episodes. So, uh, anyways, that is it for us, guys, and we will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.